And joining us this evening, Ami Yagnik, spokesperson of the Congress from Ahmedabad, Dr. Sambit Patra, national spokesperson of the BJP, Onika Mehrotra, director of the Kalka Group of Institutions from Delhi, Chandana Chakraborty, social activist, joining us, actor Khushbu joining us from Chennai, Anandita Sarvadikari, filmmaker, joining us from Kolkata. The first question I'm going to ask Chandana Chakraborty. Who's responsible, Chandana Chakraborty? Because the numbers that we see here, it's not just about Bangalore or Kolkata or West Bengal and Karnataka. You name the state and there are children who are being assaulted.
Well, as long as people think that they can get away with mayhem, murder and now rape, these incidents will not decrease. They will only keep on increasing. Just look at what happens and how much time it takes. The fact that this school has not responded, not bothered to respond for the last 1 week, it just means that they are trying to protect the accused. And the school cannot escape responsibility. They are the custodians of the child's well-being when the child is in school. So they cannot escape responsibility. They should have at least come out and said that, look, we are going to take action. And I don't understand why is the police waiting for the school to take to respond. Why can't the police act independently and just have that man arrested? And then, conduct a proper inquiry. Unless we take exemplary action.
Yeah, and Khushbu, what do you tell the Home Minister of a state who say parents have to be more careful when they choose the school? Despite the fact, and we have one of the parents joining us, Rupali, joining us from Bangalore, despite the fact that these are reputed institutions that we're talking about.
I think I completely blame the Educational Institute for being so lethargic, for being so careless, and for being so insensitive to the entire situation. It's been a week since this molestation has taken place in the school in Kolkata, and the school takes time to react. And like Anandita said, that I think the cops need to understand that it's a very big matter, and they need to take it in their hands, and they have to react independently and arrest the driver. And it's very important that where are we going to put a full stop to it? It's Bengal, it's Kolkata, it's Hyderabad, it's Delhi, it's any other place in the country, but we tend to read about it every other day. We read about a child being molested, a child being sexually abused. Where are we going to put a full stop to it?
Yes, Khushbu, we'll put that question to everyone, but Rupali is now joining us. She's the parent that's representing all parents on this debate tonight. Rupali, who do you think as a parent is at the end of the day responsible? You're sending your child to a school for several hours. While the child is in school, the school is responsible for her safety, his safety. But law and order is a state subject. It's a state responsibility. Do you as a parent think that the responsibility lies with the state or with the school?
Both are equally responsible. Yes, the school definitely is responsible. The moment the child boards the school bus and until the child gets down from the school bus, definitely the school is responsible for the child. However, just in case the school is unable or school doesn't do their responsibility, in that case definitely the law and order is responsible. The system is responsible, aren't they?
Ami Yagnik, in Karnataka, when we saw this horrific spate of cases happening, 4 children molested or sexually assaulted within the space of 4 months, we had some really shocking comments coming from the political establishment. Comments like, is this the only news that you have? The fact is, as the parent here, Rupali, just pointed out, yes, there is a responsibility of the school, but law and order, making sure that the culprits are nabbed, putting them to justice, that is a state's responsibility, and no government can shy away from that responsibility.
No, you are absolutely right. No government can just look the other way, neither the central government nor the state government. If you just look the last 10 years or several years, from the time we have got the National Commission for Protection of Children,
yes,
from that time on, we also
that's the
have
point, Ami Yagnik, that's why I'm saying, it's the Chief Minister
exactly,
saying that the media is just turning this into a big issue. It's the Home Minister who's saying that the schools are responsible. You're well aware of these facts.
No, a responsible statement has to be made by any political person when we are talking about these innocent young children. It's the welfare duty for both the schools, the state government and the central government, and that is why I was bringing you back to those National Commission for Protection of Children. There are state commissions, there are welfare boards, there are women and child commissioner departments, the education department, also the home department. But you just, I know it feels very insensitive when you hear these remarks, but I think the schools have to be taken, some harsh actions have to be taken, and it is time that all of us as citizens should take up this issue, and the political establishment should rise above all these statements, and they should look into the issue. It's giving a very, very bad picture of our society and children. These are elite schools. If you talk about the municipal schools, and if you talk about those children,
Ami Yagnik, the fact is, sorry to interrupt you there, but the fact is that the Karnataka Home Minister, KJ George, this is just the attitude. They said you are sensationalizing the entire issue. 152 children between the age of 0 to 14 have been assaulted in just 1 year in Karnataka. And you saying that the media is sensationalizing it?
Also, Shambhit Patra, it's not just about one party.
I'm not
Ami,
here to
we'll just go to Shambhit on this because, we're questioning the political discourse on issues like this. I mean, instead of sensitivity, this is the kind of stuff we see. We've already talked about Chief Minister Siddaramaia's comment. We've talked about KJ George's comment. What about Ishwarappa? What about what Mr. Ishwarappa said in response to what the Home Minister of the state had said? He came out and said that if your daughter was raped, would you react like this? That's the level of discourse, Shambhit Patra?
You're absolutely right. And I'll tell you one thing very frankly. Now, I'll tell you something very frankly. The biggest service that politicians can do on these sensitive issues is to keep quiet. If they keep quiet and just do their duty, that is to protect the citizens of this country, I believe that is the greatest service that the politicians of the country can do. And I, as a politician, hang my head in shame when I hear any of my fraternity, be it from Congress, be it from BJP, or be it from any other political party, passing such kind of comment. And I remember Mr. Narendra Modi had been quite categorical in the parliament. He had requested every parliamentarian that please refrain from making any statement as far as rape and molestations are concerned. It is none of our business to pass comments. Our work is to work, in fact, to function and to see to it that such kind of things don't happen. And second very important point that I want to keep it over here on the floor of the debate is, look, the child who goes to the school is a child who does not know the intricacies of the whole thing. He or she does not know what technicalities are, what is law of the land, whether the state government is responsible or whether the school management is responsible. It is we adults who understand that, but the child knows only one thing: I would be protected. This is a good world where the system has to protect me. And if the system fails, no, we all have to stand together
when you say it tonight. But the fact is that most of the establishment does not say this. They are not only quiet, they are also absent.
What you guys are doing on that?
Yes,
go ahead. What are you doing about it?
No, why don't you come up with something you guys are doing instead of just keeping quiet? Please tell us. Okay, you are there and BJP is there in center. What are they doing about it?
Dr. Patra?
So we have to remember
don't say that we should not pass any comments. Okay, don't pass comments. What you guys are doing?
No, we have to realize one thing, that we have a federal system of government as far as technicalities are concerned. So definitely law and order is a state subject.
See, let's not go into these intricacies, Shambhit. Let's not go into these intricacies.
No, exactly, that's what I'm saying. I'm not going into the intricacies. But if I'm asked,
law and order is a state subject. Yes, law and order is a state subject, but the well-being of the people of this country is a central responsibility. It's a straight question.
Definitely.
What are you doing about it? Just answer that question.
Definitely. No, definitely. That's what, see, we all have to move in a way which has been laid by the constitution of the country. Well, I wish that I could go and hold that person by the collar who has committed such kind of crime.
So
but I cannot do that. I have to move. We have asked for a report. The HRD ministry has asked for a report because that's what it can do. The state has to act as far as the arrest and everything else is concerned. We can ask for a report whether the school has followed all the rules and regulations laid down by the HRD ministry. The rest has to be followed by the state government.
Dr. Patra, the center can ask reports from the state will ask report from the BDO officer. The BDO officer will go and visit the school after the event is already over and then say, oh, they didn't have these permissions, but they have been plying their trade for for 2 years right under my very nose. I don't know how that happened, but they should not be doing all of this. But Onika Mehrotra, what are the schools doing? Are the schools even bothered? And how dare that reputed institutions actually try and shield such offenders just because they don't want a taint on their institution?
That's where we are at fault. You see, it's a small arena or small space where you are handling children. And how many of them? Maximum 2,000 to 3,000? And what is your moral duty when the child comes in? From giving a holistic, education to a good background, ultimately these outsources, I've been telling it time and again, especially when they move to their buses or they move to the play fields. These are the areas where you really have to keep an eye on it so that children are well taken care of. Vigilance is only one thing that can really, keep you away from all this.
Vigilance, and what about
having
fear?
said that,
the repercussions.
ultimately these people are from the society.
Let me tell you what happens. When
exactly what I'm saying.
Get a child.
Let me complete 1 minute, please.
When you get
Let
a
me
child
complete.
into school.
Rupali, 1 second. Rupali, you make your point. Let Onika finish what she's saying first.
All right.
See, in buses, it's mandatory to have a supervisor or a teacher so that the child is taken care of the last stop.
Are all schools
if such
following
small
that
steps
rule?
are taken, you're bound to, stop all these kind of things. But these are part and parcel of the school system. And this is mandatory for schools to follow.
That's the thing.
And that's
You
where the
see,
education department comes in.
But this is,
you have to keep a check.
Education department comes in later to take action against schools that are not following these rules. But Rupali,
No.
coming back to you, and before you make the point, 1 second. For example, what's happened today? This child who was molested in Kolkata was to be escorted to the toilet. Instead of being escorted by the ayah, she was escorted by the driver. How can a school allow that? You're talking about children who are 3 and 4 years old. How can you put them in a situation like this where they can become prey for these predators? Rupali.
Look, this is what exactly happened couple of months ago in another school called Exceed. Okay, the ayah handed over the child to a driver and the child was molested and the child was just 2 years and 3 months.
Yes.
Okay, what they come up with is, once something happens in a school, government comes up very happily that, okay, we'll close the school. And it's just like, closing down the school is just like, okay, operation successful, patient died, gone.
No, but is that enough? And Anandita, Rupali, I'm just bringing in Anandita Sarvadikari also here. Anandita, I appreciate your patience. Sorry to keep you waiting there, but you've heard what the panelists here have to say. And when we look at the data, it's shocking. In Delhi, September 26, the 2.5-year child was repeatedly abused because it was a male, who took the child into the toilet in the absence of women present. 2.5-year-olds, 3-year-olds, 6-year-olds. Now, what do you want parents to walk around with cameras behind them all the time? Is that what we've come to?
In fact, I have several friends whose kids are in the school where it happened last week, and I've been talking to them all through the day. This kid was around 3 years old, and as somebody said just now, that she was actually being accompanied by an ayah. It was the ayah who sent her to the toilet with the driver or the conductor, whosoever. The worst is what the school did. It tried to hush it up. First, it paraded the little girl in front of the possible perpetrators. Of course, a 3-year-old, she was in shock. She could not recognize, confused. And then the school, it's 7 days, it took 7 days for the thing to come up. And what, it's unfortunately, I know it's happening in Karnataka and other states, but in Bengal, we are in a state where, women are getting raped. The government is in denial. Children are getting abused, the schools are in denial, and today the police was trying to help the school to hush it up. One of the mothers was telling me that there were 3 to 4 vans full of policemen who came. You saw the mothers and the fathers, they were mothers and parents of 3, 4, 5-year-old kids. And they were agitated because if the school does not take cognizance of the offense, then, it means that they are not going to take punitive action, neither they are going to take corrective measures. So first you need to take cognizance of the offense. So if the police and the school get together, hobnob together and try to hush it up, and apparently even local TMC, and local TMC leaders also wanted their finger in the pie.
Let's not even go into the politics of this. Khushbu, coming to you, as she says there, the fact is this has happened in several of these instances.
Will continue.
Just the last few cases that we've seen in these schools across states, hushing it up has tended to be the first response of the school.
It entirely is a school responsibility, Rupali. Let me tell you that all the schools, when you talk about these private schools, nowadays all the schools have CCTV cameras in their schools, in the corridors, near the classrooms, everywhere. So it's very easily for the cops to identify as to who the culprit is, who went to the toilet, who took the child, and who the child went with. Secondly, when you're talking about the numbers of the sexual assaults or the molestation of the kids, it's the numbers which have been registered, which have been come to light. I think there are many more numbers which have not come to light. The parents do not want to talk about it because the child will be further abused with the kind of people talking about it, debating about it, and the kind of attention it gets. So I think most of the parents also would want to hide it, that okay, this kind of a situation has taken place. 132 is the number we are talking about. 132 is the number we are talking about, which has come to the light. But there are many more which have not come to the light. It's very saddening that the cops are not taking a reaction to it. It's very, very disheartening to see the education system, the institution where the child goes to, does not take up the responsibility, because I feel even the state government, the law and order comes next when it's on the streets. But when a child goes to a school, I'm a mother of 2 children, 2 girl children who go to school regularly, and as a mother, I feel it's the entire responsibility of the education institution where they go to, that they see to it how the child, and that
Khushbu,
as young
the
as
fact
2
is,
and 3-year-old kids.
Khushbu, the fact is, I want to go back to Ami Yagnik and Dr. Patra on this, because this is not something which is worth playing politics about, Ami Yagnik. Because every politician's blood should boil
it's really
when a child is assaulted, and we did not see
how insensitive they can be.
And the fact is, aren't they parents?
So insensitive?
Aren't they parents? Be it a man or a woman, or in terms of a politician, aren't they parents? Don't they see children? Don't they want children's safety? Shouldn't their blood boil? Shouldn't the blood of a home minister or a women and child welfare minister or the state chief minister boil when he comes to listen even one case in his city or in his capital or in his state?
They should be ordering an immediate
Why doesn't that happen, Ami Yagnik?
The politicians, the caretakers.
Something really sad.
Yes, yes, Rupali.
Yeah, it is somewhere in our subconscious minds. In India, all these abuses are acceptable. It's nothing much. Now, I would salute those parents who are coming up and reporting these issues, because these are like taboo. You cannot even, even if something wrong happens to your child, you're not supposed to go and say in India. It's tabooed here. So
no, it's not about not saying, Rupali. I think the child is scarred forever.
Yes.
The child is scarred forever.
Absolutely, Khushbu.
The scars remain forever.
Absolutely. And Ami Yagnik, a 3-year-old, 5-year-old boy or girl, irrespective, you're scarring a child. You're scarring a child at that age. And you're not, is that enough? And you're not, how come the politician or the state's blood doesn't boil when the school is actually trying to hush it up? Why aren't their licenses cancelled immediately? Why aren't they sealed? Why aren't they put behind bars without any questions asked?
What exactly happened earlier here? Let me tell you something what exactly happened earlier here. It happens to the child, and indeed the child is scarred for a lifetime. After that, what happens? They call, if you remember, in Vibgyor school, they called the child after 6 p.m. to the school. The child was taken to the room where everything happened. She was supposed to identify, she was supposed to enact and tell what exactly happened to her, and in front of policemen. Can you think what kind of trauma it is for a child?
This is what is worse. This is what the parents fear. This is what the parents fear, that this is what is going to doubly scar the child and, actually hurt the child more, because the child is paraded, the child is taken to the place where the...
No, that's what Ami Yagnik and Shambit Patra, we'll come to you on this, because the point that's being made here, is that yes, there is perhaps some fear on parts of parents also to come forward with this. The kind of data that we're talking about, the numbers that Anand put forth, and as many of our panelists have said, are only those that get reported. And let me tell you what these numbers are. They are absolutely shocking. They make your heart sink. This is the number we're talking about. 2013, 12,451 children. We're talking about children under 18 who were raped in the country. 12,000. That is the number that's reported. Ami Yagnik, we know that means that's just the tip of the iceberg.
And 4,000 of them are less than 14 years old.
You are absolutely right. There cannot be. No, these numbers which you are giving are quite low. There's a much higher number when you talk about those farm sectors where the children are smuggled and made to work. But I'm not going into that. I say that there cannot be politics in this kind of an issue. The politicians have to rise above all the politics, and they have to take very strict action. And the school institutions, I think all the directors, all the trustees who are custodians of these children, once the children go to the school, I think the education minister, the education department, the women and child commissionerate, I think they have to come with a very common and coordinate amongst themselves and take very strict action.
What is
if this is not done, forget about Congress or forget about BJP. I think it is time. No, it is time that we have to thank the media to raise this issue.
It's all very well for you to agree with us and say this here. What has your party done about the statements made by KJ George and Siddaramaiah and Dr. Shambhit Patra? What has your party done about Ishwarappa's comment?
Well, as far as statements go, I think there's a foot-and-mouth epidemic among politicians.
Let me tell you, I'm not just talking. I've been a part of the inquiry commissions of these children, and I know exactly. We have given recommendations, and everyone has to have a concerted effort. I'm not
asking about recommendations. Forget recommendations. I'm asking what action. You know, your chief minister comes out and says that is this the only news you people have? What have you done about that?
It's time we should all rise above all this. Come together and see that
just
the children
then rise and rise to the occasion and do something about your leaders that come out with comments like this.
Come raise above this, do it.
Definitely, yes, we should be doing
Yes, you should, so then do it.
You know what, actually the volcano is about to erupt.
Well, in this case,
I think the volcano is about to erupt. We really need to understand, because we also read the news about a father killing the daughter's rapist just a couple of days ago. And if the government, if the cops, if the police, if the responsible department is not going to react on this, this is what is going to happen.
Yes.
The people will start taking law in their hand. And there was one case of a father killing his rapist. There'll be many more. I think we are just waiting for this huge volcano to erupt. And before it goes out of hands, I think every responsible person needs to take action and understand we cannot allow law to go out of hands, in the hands of the people, where they lose hope and trust on the law and order, in the government, in the people who are responsible for our safety and security of our children, and say that we are going to take law in our hands.
Absolutely.
I think it's high time we as very responsible people understand, and every responsible person who understands that, say that, okay, we need to put an end to this bullshit, because we really need to act and very fast.
Yeah, Anandita, yes. Onika, coming to you. Yes, Anandita.
But I don't see why the courts can't take it as a PIL.
No, I'm seeing a lot of political oratory and all happening around such topics every time. And I agree with Khushbu, before people take to Raisina Hills once again, some concrete steps should be taken to prevent it. Like, you know, like maybe the government, the parliament should
unless there is exemplary punishment.
Where educational institutions should
let me tell you
hire
what happened.
people
Let
and
me tell you
have a
Rupali, just wait on. Rupali, just wait on.
Psychological profiling of teachers.
Rupali, just wait on.
Psychological profiling of teachers.
Okay.
Rupali, just wait on.
Because I'm a mother.
Yeah.
I'm a mother. 1 year later, my child is going to go to school, and after parents, the child spends maximum time at school, and it is not possible for any parent to sit at home and, you know, with their heart in their mouth every day.
But I think Onika makes a really important point. Onika makes a really important point.
Is going to be punishment, severe punishment.
Where is the fear? Yes. What about the punishment? Where is the fear of the law?
You know, we are talking of the law afterwards.
Fear will come only when there is severest punishment.
Yes, Onika.
all these
Well,
happen
start
because
with
these
severe
children-
punishment.
No,
Without severe
Yeah.
exemplary punishment, you cannot
let's
even
let's
put
add a
an end
suffix
it.
to that
Have
severest
any
of
fear of
punishments, Anika. Let's say there should be severest of punishments to those people, Chandana Chakravarti, to those schools. Even before an incident happens, there should be surprise checks. The BDO and those responsible should be pulled up
Do that.
because they
Start
need to
it
make
now.
these surprise checks once in 3 months just to see are CCTV cameras involved, who's escorting these children, who's watching, who's minding the
police
minders,
needs to be pulled up. The schools need to be pulled up.
who's minding the minders, and that responsibility, Dr.
And
Patra.
the court can take this as a PI.
No, the court doesn't need to come in. That responsibility,
I think the
Dr.
parents
Patra,
should make sure the school
lies
has
with the
these
state
things.
governments. That responsibility, be it the BJP-led
CCTV
governments,
cameras,
Congress-led
well, you know
governments, or
what
any
happens.
other party,
Yes,
its responsibility
you know-
lies with the state governments,
you
and
know
that's
there is an
why
epidemic
we
of
ask,
foot-and-mouth
isn't it
disease
also
among
a
the
responsibility of the state to prevent these events from happening?
The law. It is mandatory for all the schools to have a PTA. Okay,
Yeah.
PTA is Parent Teacher Association. Most of the schools discourage it. Most of the schools they don't have a PTA. Parents have all the rights to form an association. Parents have all the rights to have
No,
surprise
make it a
visits.
simple
Parents
system.
have all
If the
rights to-
schools are discouraging
No,
a
no, but
PTA,
what is the school
let the
department,
complaint go to
education department doing?
let the complaint go to the local
Cancel the
BDO or the
license.
education
Already
department,
there in
and
the
let that school
system.
be slapped with a fine.
Let them
Why can't it be as simple and straightforward?
First.
Shambit Patra.
So firstly, the school hasn't acted for one whole week. Cancel its license. The first thing that can be done is that. Pull the
Exactly.
police
They
up
have-
for not having acted
they have
independently in this
enough
case.
time.
How
They
long
have
are we going to
enough
wait for
time.
this? And if you
But
wait
the
for
police
politicians,
are
all
affecting
you will
schools
get is an
today.
epidemic of foot and mouth disease.
Yes, that's
Don't
what we've
wear
got
this,
so far.
don't go
That's
here,
what we've
don't
got
do
so
this.
far.
That's all
Shambit
you will
Patra, you've been very quiet tonight. And you know, we know you well enough to know that that's usually not the case. Give some assurance to the parents who are here on the debate with us and to all those watching. What are you going to do about this?
See, first, I was very quiet in this debate because I feel debate of this kind should not have any kind of cacophony. They should have an element of seriousness, and we should surely speak only when our turn comes.
What?
Because
You
it
don't see
otherwise
seriousness here?
gets out.
No, he
if
sees,
I
and
say
that's the
cacophony
point
should
perhaps
never
he's
be
trying
there.
to make. I speak
That's
for
the
him here.
reason.
Yes,
That's
Dr.
the reason
Patra.
as to why I'm saying that there should be no cacophony, and that's the reason I was not interjecting anyone. I was listening to all of your suggestions very carefully. And well, I agree that though no amount of politics should crop it into this, but remember one thing, I mean, as far as our discussion is concerned in the present cases, we were discussing Bengal and we were discussing Karnataka. Over here, I would just like to draw attention towards a political will that is very essential in this case. In Karnataka, we had a committee. The House committee was constructed under the able leadership of one of the lady ministers, I don't remember the name, probably Shakuntala. And the report that was submitted to the House of Karnataka was most of these molestations and rapes in Karnataka were happening. You would smile at what I would say and you would cry within. Were happening because of mobile phones. If such kind of reports are submitted, then I would say it is a mockery of the democracy, and we have to shun such kind of
take
things.
action against
We
what
really
you
have
like
to-
Yes, take action. See, Shambit, it's not about
Definitely,
Karnataka. It's not
definitely.
about
Action needs
West
to be
Bengal.
Dr. Patra,
It's pan-India.
Dr.
It's
Patra,
pan-India.
what would you want to say
Well,
about...
action needs to be taken against politicians who shoot their
No,
mouth
Dr.
off.
Patra, what would you want to say to the government of Madhya
Definitely.
Pradesh? 600 plus 0 to 14 years in 2013 child rapes.
No, definitely. I right from the very beginning said that this is not an issue of BJP or Congress. It is a matter of politicians as a whole.
No.
And I told if our
And do you
politicians have
also
made any wrong
agree?
statement,
Do you
our
also
side-
agree that without debate, without any argument cutting across political lines, the safety of children in schools and anywhere else should be paramount because they are the future?
No, definitely. Debate is an essential part
Well,
of democracy.
instead of
And if you
generalizing
remember
this,
the
can
Nirbhaya-
we start with this,
Just a second.
this incident?
Yes.
No, I would say that debate is an essential part, and if you all remember, it was only because of the debate we had on the Nirbhaya case that law has itself changed.
Yes.
We had
No,
the
no,
Verma
but-
Commission.
But what about the attitude of the
And the
state
law
government,
changed.
of the state machinery?
But that's the thing, Shambit. That's what we're trying to say, Dr. Patra. The fact is that the government has a power. Whether it's the state government or the central government, there is a power that is invested in you by people because they want to be protected. These are basics. Protection for their children is a basic requirement from a government. What are the state and central governments doing about it? Look at these numbers they're talking. They are horrifying. Absolutely horrifying.
As far as the central government is concerned, I told, we have a Lakshman Rekha which we cannot cross because we have federalism in this country. So definitely, we have asked our report, we will take action on our report. But the law and order situation, we cannot intervene because the next day the debate would be changing as to how the state has intervened into the law and order situation of a state. And today, as some eminent panelists were suggesting that I should be talking in specifics, it is a case of Bengal. So I believe we should have had a representative from Bengal today who would have able to say as to why the Chief Minister, who herself is a lady, is trying to protect a school. Ironically,
it's a different story altogether, sir. It's a different story altogether. Because I agree with Onika there, because what happens is when you reach out to politicians, all they do is indulge in a foot-and-mouth disease. They don't give you solutions. And the fact is, everything is reactive.
It's been happening everywhere. It used to happen when we were children. It used to happen when our parents were children as well. These happens all the time everywhere. Very few parents have guts to come up and report. So now the things are just coming to our notice.
Even now, Rupali, you're talking about post an event happening. You're talking about post an event happening. I am going one step. I am saying, why can't governments be proactive? Like Onika said, why can't there be strong fines for schools that don't conduct parent-teacher meetings, that schools that don't adhere to the basic security measures they've got to put in place if when they're running children, youngsters? Why isn't the state government, state department being pulled up for lacunae?
The government has passed
I would like to comment for a minute
now. However, schools are coming up. These are mere guidelines. Good to know. We'll try to follow them, but they are not mandatory.
Yes. They're not. And Khushbu,
so
just before you give us your closing comments, Khushbu, just to add to what Anindita said earlier, the basic problem starts from the beginning. Are schools even profiling the people they're hiring? Who knows what kind of standards are being applied? Because in all of these cases, or at least most of these cases, these are non-teaching staff or teaching staff that are actually perpetrating these crimes.
It could be anybody.
I would like to ask every school
what measures
I would like to ask every school when they hire people.
Yeah.
No, I would like to ask every school, every institution in this country as to when they hire the drivers and the conductors, how many times they go through their complete resume as to what they have done before, whether they have a legal license to drive the buses.
Yes.
None of the schools, or at least 90% of the schools, do not check the backgrounds of the people who are hired.
So
that's a very shameful thing.
And I think, as Rupali
I also would like to add...
Yes.
Yes,
Khushbu.
I would like to say that one gentleman suggested, was talking about Nirbhaya. Please, I would like to remind everybody on this channel, the Nirbhaya case is not about the severity. After Nirbhaya, we have had many thousand cases, and let me tell you, every woman, every girl, every child who was raped is a Nirbhaya case. It's not the severity of the sexual offense. It's not the severity as to how she was raped. I think every sexual assault results to a Nirbhaya case because I know how it completely scars a child. So let's not compare. This is not Nirbhaya.
Right. No,
this is not so and so. Every sexual assault should be treated like Nirbhaya.
Yes,
every sexual assault should be treated with the same severity as we deal with anything else. I do not like it when people say the severity of rape, the severity of the sexual assault. What are we talking about? A 2-year-old child being raped, a 4-year-old kid will be being raped, and an 18-year-old child being raped, a 60-year-old woman being raped, and you say the severity, whether a rod was shoved into her, whether there were 10 people who raped her, even if one man sexually molests or assaults a girl child, or a woman, I think it results to a Nirbhaya.
Yes, and
we need
the question that we asked is whose responsibility it is, because it is a growing issue. It is something that stares in our face, and like somebody put it today, it's a volcano waiting to erupt as far as the anger of the parents is concerned. Right now, it's anxiety, it's worry, but it will translate into anger and it will manifest itself. And before it does that, the answer to the question perhaps is it's everybody's responsibility, and everybody better wake up to it and fulfill their responsibility and commitment, be it schools or be it the state. Dr. Patra and all the other ladies joining us on this panel this evening, thank you for joining us on debate number 2 on the News Hour.